Okay, guys, the time has come to kick off our 7th annual TV host fantasy draft. Derek, start us off.
2 years in a row, Bob Costas planned the parade.
God.
Chris, keep it going.
All right, fine. Dan Patrick, DP show every day, football night in America, Sports Jeopardy is going to increase that productivity, son. Man, give me my money right now.
Oh, and just a reminder, 10 points per movie appearance.
Oh, man.
Hey, give me Guy Fieri.
Man, I keep forgetting about Food Network's strength of 24-hour scheduling.
Gentlemen, one final slot remains. Mr. Irrelevant. Probably won't help your squad any. Derek, your selection?
Brock Everett.
What the hell does he host?
Box Score. And it starts right now.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Coward for Box Score.
Howdy ho, and welcome to the Box Score. I'm DJ filling in for Brock yet again. They are the Danettes in Milford. You guys have held a crap load of jobs. Let's see, Seton, you were a flower delivery boy. Fritzy, you were a camp counselor. That's a little dicey. McLevin, at one point, you were a butcher's assistant. And Paulie apparently was everything. So, Paul, I'm going to send this one to you. What's your worst job interview story?
I interviewed for a job in Chicago in a hotel out in Schaumburg, and a crazy guy came into the hotel lobby and started tearing the place apart, and 2 security guys just beat him senseless right in front of us as we're sitting in this little cocktail area applying for the job. That was just surreal. My worst, though, it was just when I interviewed at ESPN, and I was very excited, and I walked in the door, and the first guy I speak to within 30 seconds tells me, he goes, well, before we get started, I just want to tell you that we've kind of already hired someone for your position. And my heart just sunk. And it turned out I did get the job, but that was like, I was, a suit, the whole thing, and I thought I wasn't going to get it. So that could have been a tough one.
Well, today, McLevin found one of the stranger job interview questions in the sports world.
There's a story that's out there Brandon Cooks mentioned yesterday. The Cleveland Browns ask you what you can do with a paperclip in 60 seconds. How do you answer that?
I would say, first of all, I'm not MacGyver. Second of all, I will learn to do something with this if it's important to you.
So saying I can make a hook to hang Christmas ornaments, not the right answer?
You can.
The wrong answer is I can pick a lock and rob your house.
You know what? I use these all the time to pick dorm rooms. Man, I stole a bunch of crap when I was in college. Is that a good enough answer for you?
Yeah, it's actually been getting a lot of attention. I have a friend who works for a team who says the Browns are completely insane to ask that question. So maybe it's not every team asks that, but that, like, have you guys heard that question too? Cat or a dog?
Judge creativity, I guess, is one thing I think of, or resourcefulness.
Yeah, the famous one is a cat or a dog, or something like that. They just ask, and you have to answer. Or like questions that don't, they put you on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do with a paperclip?
Things that I can't mention on this show.
Go ahead. I mean, now I'm really curious.
I would probably get kicked off the team with. I would turn it into something
There's a sexual in you?
I would.
What the heck are you going to do sexually with a paperclip?
Yeah, it's too sharp.
Using it as some type of clamp?
Oh, I see where you're going.
Or ring?
I mean, other than that, there's really no other option for that. There's literally nothing else you could do
injure somebody. That's
in that arena.
I wouldn't know what to do with a paperclip. I can't fix a light bulb.
You know what I would do? I would print out.
You don't fix a light bulb. You change them.
That's right. You change. You screw.
You don't
it
actually
in.
fix the bulb. It just goes out. And you
Case in point.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. You have zero experience with that.
Sweeping.
I would print a bunch of stories for Dan and clip them together. That's what I would do.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I'd take the playbook and put the paperclip in the play.
In Cub Scouts, they taught us if you have a paperclip or anything metal, if you're stranded, you could take a piece of clothing that you're wearing, put a paperclip around it, and put it in and drop it down. And supposedly it will catch the morning dew, and you could squeeze water into your mouth.
By the way, did anyone here know Paulie was a Cub Scout?
Cub Scout 3 weeks.
Nerd alert. Nerd alert.
There's one below Cub Scout, like Tiger Scouts or something like that, and I made it one day and was like, you know what? F this.
Paulie, did you transition from Cub Scout into the AV Club in high school?
The AV Club. I was quite nerdy. I didn't stay with the Boy Scouts mostly because Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts? I can't remember what it's called. I think Cub Scouts.
Boy Scouts, yes, that's it.
Did you
go door to door selling cookies?
Never got that far into the process.
Any merit badges?
Demerit badges. I did 3 weeks. 3 weeks in the Boy Scouts, Cub Scout.
That's awesome. Cub Scout, demerit badge probably for drinking too much beer. But the topic of job interview always gets me a tad nervous, mostly because I think we're all expecting this to materialize one day.
Honestly, there's been no talk at all like that. Just every once in a while, my brother will often tell me that people that I used to work with said hi and.
You're like the King's Speech. You're stuttering. You're calling Firth. The mothership didn't reach out to me. I don't know, Fritzy.
I got nothing to say.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's always very awkward when we talk about leaving places and going to other jobs, and especially there's an extra sensitivity with ESPN because every once in a while, I don't know what leads to that discussion, but Dan will ask one or more of us. So do you have one foot out the door? You're talking with anybody at the mothership? You're ready to go back to ESPN, and it's a very awkward thing. I was there 14 years and had great experiences there. I left on good terms, but I'm here now and I've been here for the last 7, 8 years or whatever it's been. So, it's not something I really think about all that much, but when Dan brings it up, it forces you on national radio and TV to start talking about it.
And in the last 7 years, has anyone from ESPN said, hey, if you're not comfortable there, you have a place back?
They actually have not.
Does that bother you?
Not really. They got.
You're very popular there.
Yeah, but they got resumes. They got plenty of options for very talented people there. They'll find the guests and the talent coordinators and producers and whatever work needs to be done. They'll ultimately get the job done. I'm flattered that was held in high regard. But I don't think about that. Every once in a while, my brother may say, this one asked about you, but not necessarily an opportunity job-wise. Just like this one said hi, or this one wants to know how things are going. But I think everything's good there. And if down the road, if an opportunity came up and this show was no longer on the air or something like that, or it switched hosts, or I wasn't happy here, I'd like to think that they would welcome me back.
Look at the camera. Say it to them.
So there you go.
Well, Fritzy, you can say you're not going back to the mothership all you want, bud, but clearly it's been on your mind while you've been here, as you'll see in this.
A box score exclusive.
If you missed the box score, what are you thinking? You can tune in and catch it on ESPN.com.
Wait, ESPN.com?
Oh, did I say ESPN.com?
Oh, Nelly!
Whoa! What was that about?
Yeah, don't erase that one.
What was that
about?
Save it. Oh my goodness,
Wow,
Fritzy, what a slip that is. That little Freudian slip action.
Every single thing is saved.
I'm very impressed that someone was able to dig that one up. That's a great clip.
Pulling things from 3-4 years ago. But yeah, that's a definite Freudian awkward thing. Why would I be saying ESPN.com? There's no explanation for that.
I mean, that first clip they pulled was 4 years old, whatever. I mean, you see how empty the studio was? It's kind of crazy, man. We've done so much stuff. I have no clue.
I don't remember anything about that
I don't
day.
remember anything.
Well, Fritzy, that was a hell of a slip, and Fritzy almost got caught out giving his email out on air today. Paulie, what was the worst slip-up of personal information revealed on the show?
I'm going to go back before we did this version of the show. We were doing an internet-only chit-chat. We used to chit-chat during the breaks, and people listening on the internet could hear us. And a lot of people were listening on the internet, ESPN.com, when it was Dan Patrick, Rob Dibble, Sean Salisbury, and myself. And I go, Dibs, I need your email for something. And I said, and I start to go write it down. And he goes, oh yeah, Dibs41 at blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, no. And there's no way to stop it. There's no dump button on this internet. And he probably got 10,000 emails in 45 seconds. And so far, no one's done it here. But I noticed when we came back from break, I was walking back from the box, and Fritzy, you started giving out your email to somebody on the phone. Was your mic off?
I thought my mic was off.
But it wasn't, right?
Yeah, because I got some tweets.
So you said to me it was off, but it wasn't off.
I was under the impression it was off, and then after I checked, and actually I checked because I got a tweet saying, thanks for giving out your email or something like that. And I was like, oh.
Did you get any emails?
not just yet, and I'm hoping I won't, or I said it too quick or whatever. But that was definitely a slip up. Johnny Bench called out of the blue, and it threw me off. And I was trying to get Rich Eisen on the line because he was going to be on camera. Then we were doing it on the phone, and I wasn't even thinking about my mic being on. And then I just started sharing with Johnny Bench.
Not to pile on, Fritzy, but I guess that's kind of what we do here on the box score.
Oh yeah.
I would say the biggest slip was was it a birthday present, Christmas present, anniversary thing?
That Dan was giving to his wife.
Got his wife an Airstream trailer, which is pretty awesome. That's a hell of a nice gift. Yes. And Fritzy, you let that one fly
and
well before the
But not
gift
only
was
that,
delivered.
but it was like very soon after he told us about it, and we all like.
You're like, what? You got a nice
agreed.
Airstream trailer for your wife? It's a really nice gift. Why can't we talk about that? You're like, no, dude. Shh.
That was awful. Yeah, that was awful. That was
awesome.
I kept that secret for about 14 seconds. He shared that with us, and he's like, "Of course you could trust us. Why would we tell anybody?" And then somehow it got blurted out. I had no self-control at all. And
that was awesome.
It's like one of those things about not thinking about pink elephants or whatever, or don't think about something, you think about it immediately. You know, the fact it was. I was like a little kid. Don't press that. Oh, I gotta press.
Todd Fritzlberry destroying Christmas yet again. Stick around. Is there another movie role the Danettes can add to the resume? Question mark. We'll find out next. The box score is powered by the Ram 1500 Eco Diesel. Every truck can tow a boat. Every truck can climb a hill. Every truck can haul a trailer, but not everybody has the most fuel-efficient half-ton truck on the road. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com. Guts, glory, Ram.
Hey, Dan, we're getting a little tired of you playing the awkward doctor. Maybe we could you have your 4 minions come in? You could be like Despicable Me, and then just dress the guys in yellow and see what does Fritzy do? Have Fritzy do some of that Shannon Sharp. Have him do some of that. He does a fantastic Shannon. He's so good.
Hey, welcome back to the box score. You guys have been lucky enough to ring the bell at Wall Street, get beat up by athletes, and possibly the coolest act in Adam Sandler movies. Seton, if you could go back in time and play any bit role in any Sandler movie, what's the movie, what's the role?
Oh boy, well the first one that came to mind was the guy in Billy Madison, where he's like, at no point did you do anything, like we're all dumber for having listened to that.
Great line.
That guy was pretty awesome. That's a great part, because he delivers it so like how could you possibly be so stupid kind of thing. I wouldn't mind being that guy. That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, the guy's just so bummed out there. All right, Fritzy, give us a recap of your recent experience on set shooting the Sandler movie, Pixels.
It was a much more pleasant experience than the previous one because no one yelled at me or came running out and like kind of looked at me like, why don't you know how to function at all? So I'm glad I didn't have to worry about putting a camera in the right spot or that I was daydreaming or facing the wall. But it was really cool. Kevin James was pretending to be was playing the role of the president, and I was sitting next to Seton, and the guys were in the crowd at the White House press conference, and Robert Smigel was sitting right next to me and Seton, and we're pretending that we want to ask the president a question, and it was just a very relaxed, cool experience. And we haven't seen anything obviously just yet, but I'm looking forward to seeing how much camera time we all get, especially when we're all yelling for Kevin James to call on us because we have a pertinent question to ask of the president of the United States.
Kevin James is president. Sign me up. Well, Sandman called in and told Dan which role he's going to be playing in his next project.
You'll be doing a scene with the handsome Luke Wilson, who will be playing a man trying to protect the president. His name is President Lincoln. The part of President Lincoln is going to a man who studied 16 years at Strasbourg, hung out with Stella, hung out with Buddha Hagen for many years. Daniel M.C. K.O. Patrick.
That's a big offer. I mean, this is a Western. It's probably going to be like a little bit like Unforgiven, very gritty and hardcore. And to play Abraham Lincoln, Dan's got to get his act together. I don't think this is one he can just kind of show up and wing it.
Yeah.
I think he's got to study, old. I don't think there's a lot of film on Lincoln.
No, very grainy.
Yeah, very grainy. Maybe some pictures. He's tall. I think he'd add in a beard and furrow the brow. Dan's got good pipes, which I think will help with Lincoln, because Lincoln seems like a deep guy.
But it's got to be a little depressing preparing and dressing up for a character that you know is something very bad is going.
No, I think that'd be the opposite. I would love to get killed in the movie.
Yeah, I think it's pretty great that Dan's going to be killed on camera. I think it's
I
awesome.
would love to be on, like, what is it, Law and Order, getting killed on Law and Order, or CSI.
That'd be great.
That'd be the best.
Putting the,
and we could just talk.
Yeah.
Well, McLovin, is it going to break your heart to watch DP get killed on screen? I mean, spoiler alert, it doesn't go well for Honest Abe.
There are a lot of things that are going to be bad. I think Abe got shot in the head, right? So not only are we're not going to see Dan's hair under the hat, but when we do see it, it'll have, like, be shot. I don't really know how this is going to work, like, logistically. But by the way, do we know he's definitely going to die? Or are they going to... I know with Abe Lincoln, what happened...
I thought he seemed to imply that it wasn't going to
There was an
end well.
implication. But was Sandman just hooking us in?
You know, now that I think about it, this is a Western, right?
Yeah.
And I think Lincoln got killed in the Washington, D.C. area. How are they going to marry these two topics together, these two scenes together? It's shot in Santa Fe, which rarely gets used.
He's a bank robber in the movie, so maybe there's some kind of federal tie in there. I mean, that would be
Yeah, for continuity, if there's some cactus sitting outside the theater in D.C. there.
Yeah, I don't see how they're going to weave a cowboy movie
Tumbleweeds through
in
Washington,
with
D.C.
the murder of the president in Virginia, D.C. area.
Well, Western movie, I'd love to see Dan on a horse again. Nothing could go wrong there. Don't go away. Alex Rodriguez is oh so sorry, and we're accepting and rejecting his apology next. Hey, we're back here on the box score. Yesterday, Alex Rodriguez wrote a sweet little "I'm sorry" letter to Yankee fans. Seton, apology accepted or what?
Who cares? I mean, like, seriously, I get it. You know, in a weird way, I kind of feel bad for the guy in that it must really suck to be so disliked and hated by pretty much everybody. Like, he really doesn't have a lot of people in his corner. And I kind of feel bad that he's put himself in a position like that, because it must feel really crappy. That being said, okay, who cares?
I sense a resurgence in, not popularity. I feel like he's so low that it's going to become, like, kind of cool to like him, maybe a little bit.
It feels like he's back from the dead from a baseball standpoint.
Yeah.
He's been gone for so long, I can't remember an at-bat. But he's going to be probably batting 5th or 6th in the lineup in about 4 weeks. It's surreal. If you'd have told me 2 years ago he's going to be an opening day lineup for the Yankees, you'd been like, no chance of that.
Hey, Fritzy, as a fan, not as a booker, what's the most disappointed you've ever been in an athlete?
Probably what just happened, you know, in the past month with Peyton Manning and the Broncos not getting past the Colts. I know it came out that he's had a quad injury and all that, but keeping excuses aside, I was really planning that we would be seeing Manning against Brady, and they would, if not make it back to the Super Bowl, to at least be in the AFC title game. And I was really
Have you ever been really
surprised.
Disappointed with them, like, off the field, though? Like, not losing a game, but, like,
as far
wow,
as
my favorite
behavior?
athlete just, like, did something really bad or something.
Not really. I was disappointed with the way Elvis Dumervil and the Broncos handled that whole weird fax gate where he ended up on the Ravens, because he was one of my favorite Broncos, him and Von Miller together. But as far as Broncos and Astros are my two favorite teams, and nothing really jumps out as far as someone as far as off-field behavior that really upset me. I got upset when Tiki Thon got hit in the face, the old Astros shortstop. But
that was more of someone else's behavior. The guy threw the ball into his eye socket.
That was Mike Torres's.
Yeah.
Do fans do we really care as much as the media does?
No.
Yeah.
I was pretty into the Michael Vick thing. That was like, he was one of my favorite football players, and not like I owned a jersey or anything, but I don't really do that anyway. But at the time, I was, I'm vegetarian, like PETA, animal rights guy through and through, which I guess I still am. I just eat meat now. But, and that was like, whoa, this really sucks. This is really awful what this dude's doing. Awful. That was pretty, that one hit.
Well, Yankees play-by-play man Michael Kay joined the show today and gave his forecast of what he thinks A-Rod's season is going to look like.
He's Michael Kay back on the program. Mike, let me start there. Alex Rodriguez over under 20 home runs this year.
I say under.
Okay.
If you think about it, he really hasn't hit over 290 since 2008, so he's not the same hitter. He's been out essentially 2 years, and before he got hurt, he was having trouble hitting fastball, so I don't like his chances of even hitting 10.
He's like, it feels like Alex Rodriguez is on the verge of just crawling to a finish of his career. I don't really see him doing anything big. sort of like Michael Kay said, I think it's going to be an ugly 2 years for him because he wants his money, and the Yankees apparently aren't just going to eat it like they could. Like if George Steinbrenner was still around, he'd be like, screw it, just give him the money, let's get rid of him.
Yeah, and I haven't seen, I don't know what kind of shape he is in or anything like that, but I was surprised to hear Kay say that he's not going to even hit 10 home runs. Did that surprise you at all? You think he's not going to be able to hit 10, 15,
who knows?
20?
And then all of a sudden he could come out and have 10 in 2 weeks and be like, whoa, look at this.
I love awkwardness. I like when people are put in uncomfortable positions. I mean, that's kind of what my entire job is. And I want to see A-Rod hit like 330 in the month of April with 10 homers. I want him to come out hot and tear it up and put the Yankees fans and people all over in a position of having to cheer for this guy or having to say he's good, because I don't care personally for him what he does. I don't give a damn. But I would love to see the reaction of people when he's playing well again.
Yeah, I think every 10 minutes on SportsCenter it would be A-Rod back, question mark? Well, Paulie, if DP got a one-on-one with A-Rod, what's the toughest question he's going to be asking?
Well, Dan won't let him be vague, and Alex has built his career of this past, I guess, 10 years about being vague. His first admission, he talked about his cousin and what he was given, and he gave some specifics. But Dan would say, what do you take? What don't you take? When did you start taking? And he's going to belabor that point until Alex gives it up, or he's going to say,
when did you start?
We wouldn't let him move on until Alex said, here's when I started taking drugs, here's what I took, here's why I took it, here's what the effect of it was. Because every other question is just vague BS. It's just opinions and vagaries. And I'd like Dan to walk him through, what did you take, what didn't you take? And we would beat that topic literally to death until we moved on to the other topics.
Well, coming up, it's race day in the man cave. This is a box score, and we're taking a break to remind you that the Ram Heavy Duty with the best in-class towing, torque, and horsepower doesn't need one. Guts, glory, Ram.
Hey, DJ, just so you know, can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
Hey, just so you know, you don't look 12 in that shirt and that clean shave. You don't look 12 at all.
I was trying to channel your guys' Howdy Doody shirts that you guys always wear out there. I'm trying to look like I'm.
There you go. You're getting there.
Hi, me this bar. Welcome to the bar.
There's an article here on NASCAR.com that says how pit road ROAD speed limit is calculated.
Okay. Yeah, Fritzy.
I don't know if this clears it up, but one definition says pit. It's both. Pit road is the road itself, and pit row is the row of teams.
Ooh. I did the same Google search that Fritzy did, and that was from T-Bone on Yahoo Answers chat room, by the way.
I'm okay with that.
Hey, we're closing up here at the Box Score Bar. Guys, the Daytona 500 is this weekend. Paulie, I'm assuming the fridge is stocked with Audible Ale. What's the beer to mile ratio looking like for you?
Oh, man, I love the Daytona 500. It's one of those sporting events I will not miss. There's only a couple. Honestly, it's almost like to the point of the Super Bowl with me. I really enjoy it, and I can't lie to you, I enjoy it because of the danger. It's one of the tracks where you're going to see at least half a dozen crashes before the race is over, especially in the last half an hour. And as much as you can say, oh, you don't like those, I don't want them to happen, but I have no control over it. my liking or not liking it has nothing to do with it. There's some danger in that race.
Yeah, pure entertainment. In addition to the brews and bites that you guys are going to be having, you guys also managed to snag a front row seat to the big race.
From the Daytona 500, Daytona Speedway grandstands. These are the seats. Here's the grandstands that you can see. That's where people are sitting. These are the seats that have been there for years.
And those are primes. You imagine sitting in this thing for 5 hours, 6 hours?
It's so awesome.
Like being on a runway for 200 laps.
If you ain't rubbing, you ain't racing.
They're exchanging paint out there.
You're exchanging paint.
Pit road.
They are exchanging.
Better keep a receipt. We're about to exchange some paint.
It's another one of those things that ends up in the man cave that you're like,
So
whoa,
weird.
this is pretty awesome. There's like a seat from Yankee Stadium over there, one from a Final Four. Now we've got this. It's like, those are the kind of things that are really, autographs are cool, I guess, or whatever. Pictures are kind of cool, but those are things that most people don't have.
I love it.
It's pretty great.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal it.
Well, that's pretty awesome, but I mean, we've got this, so jelly beans out there. Okay, let's get real for a minute. Anytime I hear about a race, it sends shivers down my spine because I remember something that happened 5 years ago. Paulie, McLovin, take me through what happened here and the cheating behind it.
I'll let you go first, Andy.
So we were having a go-kart race as part of a sort of mini Olympics we were doing with Crown Royal. And, you know, I had some relationships with the guys in the pit crew, and we worked on some things, just to give my car an advantage, as I recall.
He actually doctored my car. He made it so that I think they could hit a kill switch, which is the only way to stop me, and took me out of the race.
So bad.
That's not how I remember. I just remember there's certain things we were doing with our rear fenders to sort of wind resistance related maneuvers.
I'm so disappointed in yourself, Andrew.
That actually kicked off the McLovin as a cheater. The whole theme.
That was early.
That has really just flourished ever since.
Yeah, that whole storyline is
really
working.
Hit your stride on that one.
McLovin is a cheater. I'm the Patriots of the
McLovin is
Dan
a
Patrick Show.
cheater. Let's get that hashtag going. Hashtag McLovin is a cheater. Hey, Fritzy, you would never cheat, I'm sure. Who's on tomorrow, bud?
I would never cheat. George Karl, New Sacramento Kings.
Except, well, you wouldn't call it cheating when you stole those dishes. That's not cheating.
That's just thievery.
That's thievery. That's not cheating.
Yeah,
That's just petty theft.
Or
Just theft.
That's just criminal behavior.
You make your kid take the fall for the police.
That's not cheating. That's just bad parenting.
Yeah, telling
bad
my-
parenting and cheating are two
Telling
different
my
things.
son to pretend
horrible
he's
thing to
sick
do to
because I
your
went
son.
down the wrong way on a one-way street.
Who's on tomorrow?
Sacramento Kings head coach George Karl, Dallas Morning News columnist Tim Calishaw will be among our guests
You
on
thought it was
Thursday.
Kawakami.
And I will hang my head in shame right now.
Hey, thanks for watching The Box Score. Catch us every day at 3 p.m. Eastern on Audience Channel 239 right here on DirecTV. Don't forget to catch our podcast on iTunes and podcast1.com. Fritzy, stop stealing things, bud.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the box score. Holy cow!